Hello, I'm Dinus the Mirror. One more time.
Yeah, the slave trade is fact. Some people say that it's a fake story, but actually it's fact. It's
Right.
a fact story.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there are people came here, and these are the politicians, humanitarians, but they still now they know that the slave trade is happening.
Right.
Because you can see there's Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Wilberforce, and Lord Manfield. These are the people fight the freedom of African people.
Right.
But why they fight the freedom of African people? The time the world civilized, the Industrial Revolution, the machine invented in the new world. This is the time they get the idea what the human can work more than a week, a machine can work in less than an hour. This is the time they outlawed for the slave trade into the European countries. But first in Denmark, and later 1807 we have in England, and this part of the bank 1810. So, but actually the slave trade is existing before.
Right.
Yeah, so and now first of all for me to introduce myself properly, my name is Shidi.
Shidi.
Yeah, we born here, brought up into the community here.
Okay.
About 3-4 years ago, we get trained from the Gambia Tourism Authority, train us to be stationed in our village here. So then when the visitors come with the tourists, we can give the information to them. But for us, we are working as a voluntary service. We don't get paid. And at the end of the tour, the tourists always pay us. And that's why we are here, so that we can have something to live.
Okay.
Because we don't have any hotel in our village here. So today I'm going to be a tour guide to give you most important part of the history of the slavery and the slave trading. The trade was started in our country here well before coming of the European. There's a trading between us. That was started introduced by the Arab. People, Arab.
Oh, Arabs were
The
coming here.
Arabs, the people from the North Africa.
North Africa?
Yeah.
So-
into the West.
So white Arabs, basically.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they came with the camel and the caravan. These are the explorers for the Islam.
Okay, so the same white Arabs who were participating in the slave trade were also introducing Islam too.
Exactly.
Okay.
So later, the worst part of the trade done by the European. The first European batch in our country here, that's the Portuguese. The arrival of the Portuguese people, the time they arrived here, they settled at the island. Later, we are going to see that island. But every morning, the Portuguese traders, they left island, came down to the mainland. They attack our people inside the forest. The more they get the slave, that's how they used to carry the slave. At the side of the wall, you can see, they chain them together from the neck to the feet, so then the journey can be easy for them.
How were they able to get the slaves?
And the coming of the European, by the time our people are dependent for the land, it's just like a self-sufficient. The more you grow, the more you feed the family. People can leave their house, get into the forest. This time of the famine period, they attack them inside the farmland. When they get the slave, that's how they used to carry them. But later, the trade was going to up to the extent they came to be involved our own people.
Okay.
That's how they used to involve our own people. So by the time, the more the European came, they came with their goods, good like mirror, tobacco, alcohol. They do esking trade also.
So they trade for the slaves
For
for
the
gold.
slave, because by the time we don't have government, we are living like an empire system of kingship. So the coming of the European, they involve our kings, and so that they can do the trade in their land. So this is the time they involve our own people. So by the time they can come, they attack the village. The more they attack the village, by the time we are living like a Taj, elephant grass houses, they can come, they raid the whole community, and they burn the house into the fire. The people can start to run for their safety. By the time also they can have the whole family.
And the Europeans were doing that.
The European here. That is the symbol of the star. You can see the father more than the baby. And the more they acquire the whole family, they all separate them together. Father controls to the east, the mother controls to the north. So, and this other one, that one is inside the forest. The more they cane them together from the neck to the feet, they can make a journey to the inside the forest. They walk for long distance, sometimes they can walk more than 5 or 6 kilometers. Some people can be hydrated. The reason why the hydration used to be happen because of the heat of the temperature and the weight of the circle. The more they untie them, they have to untie them when they're hydrated. You can see the vultures are following them. Those people eat by the vultures or hyenas.
Okay, so the hyenas will eat the dead bodies and the vultures.
Exactly, yeah. So now we'll be getting inside the museum, but inside the museum is a self-explanation museum. We don't give the information inside. But
Okay.
when you get the other side of the video, I'll continue to give you more detail concerning about the history of the slavery and the slave trading.
Okay.
But whilst we are moving, if you have questions to ask, no problem.
Okay.
To ask. And this other side here, there is the children's center. That's the center mainly for the children. So
The children, okay.
Yeah, children cannot stay along the side of the road, beg the tourists, because we all see that the begging is not the solution to make something. So that's why the government they create the center for them, so then they can be there for recycling the things for the product. And at the end of the recycling, they have to sell that one to the tourists, so then they can benefit themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, but now the school is closed. It's not working yet.
Okay.
Yeah. And down there, there is the voyage of no return.
Okay.
The more the slave came, they never came back here. And there is the voyage of no return.
Okay.
They carry the slave into the countries, they transport them to the Gore. And Gore, they make for the final treatment. That's one is in Senegal. So the time of the trading of the slaves and the slave trading, West Africa come to be more partly affected, simply because the location of the island we get in our continent. That makes West African project come to be more partly affected. We have James Island, that one is in the middle of River Gambia. We have one in Senegal called Gore Island. We have Anina Castle in Ghana. And we have Cape Town in Gold Coast. So these are the islands. Make it convenient for the Europeans to do their trade into the West African countries.
Okay.
Yeah. And this other side, there is the map of the island. That's how the island was looked like before.
Okay.
There is the Maketa,
Is that the slave fort or the?
Fair Fort in the middle of River Gambia.
Oh, so it's here.
Yeah, it's here. Later we'll go to see that island.
Okay.
And this island, every 2 weeks, the Europeans, they came to the mainland, they collect the slave. But every 2 weeks, they collect the slave from here, they transport them to the Gore. Gore is in Senegal.
Yeah, I've been to Gore.
Okay, so the more they pick into the Gore, that's the voyage of no return. But due to the condition of the erosion of the water, the fort was getting small now. From this side to the end, it's inside the water now.
Oh wow. Okay.
So only the middle part left. So today when we get down there, we're going to see this site of the buildings. And we will get inside the fort to see some of the ruined parts. Because now the part of the island was getting ruined. And the glass box here, you can see some of the materials the European used. There is a metal, there is a circle, there is a branded metal, there is a fit locking, there is a whip. So like the time of the trading, the European, the more they collect the slaves, they used to sell them different parts of the plantation. Some going to the South America, West Indies, Brazil, Caribbean. Every plantation master, they have their own metal for identification. Because along the journey, some percentage can die. There will be no through the number of the branding, how many people die going to the south, or how many people die going to the north, because of the number of the branding. Because according to the history calendar, throughout West Africa, not only Gambia, throughout West Africa, 20 to 35 million people collect into the continent of West Africa. Along the journey, 6 million people lose their life.
All right.
The condition of the journey they transported. So now you're free to walk by yourself to read more, and you can free to take pictures.
Okay. These are the weapons the Europeans use. this is great history right here. No, so this kind of breaks down the history of the route of the slave trade throughout the Caribbean. Wow, this is important history. It just breaks down the history of abolition to Sana Lovator. He's from Dahomey, his family, which is Benin Republic. Let's see what else we have here. I think this is the guy from Amistad.
Yes.
Amistad. So. All right, let's see what else we have here. We have MLK. Oh, Alex Haley. I think that's Skip Gates.
And this other part here, this is the house of the new generation. And this is the picture of the Alex Haley.
Now, Alex Haley is related to Kunta Kinteh, right?
And Alex Haley is the seventh generation to the family of the Kunta Kinteh.
Okay.
Yes. The lady is the seventh into the country here.
Is she here? Is she still alive?
No, they passed away. Both of them passed away. Alex Haley died in
Right, I know.
1992 in Seattle, and the lady also passed away about 11 years now.
Okay.
And later when we get into the island, I'm going to give you more detail how these two families connected.
Okay.
I'm going to give you that detail at the island.
Is the family still alive in the?
Yeah, now in the family house, we have the 8th generation
Okay.
into the house of the Kunta family.
Can we meet them?
It's a little bit far distant.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's why we are visiting to the island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, if at all if you like to visit them, because normally when we get down there, after the visiting, the family also expecting something from the guests.
That's fine.
It's okay for you?
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
Then you don't see them.
How far is it?
It's just about 2 to 3 minutes walk.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
So then we take out of the island now.
Now, what do you decide? Visit the island now?
First, and later on, so we go to the
To
village.
the family.
Let's go to the island first. Is that okay? Let's go to the island. My friend, I was gonna so in America, there are people that saying that the slave trade didn't happen, and that it's a hoax. That didn't happen.
Yeah, really, the slave trade happened.
But there are people that say, there are people that are saying
really,
there are people that are saying that it didn't happen.
It's not happened, but really, the slave trade is fact. It's happening because the Europeans came here to take our people.
Right.
You know that the Europe developed because of the Africa.
Exactly. We developed. We developed a whole new world.
Europe.
Right.
Well, why we developed Europe? Because they came here to take our mineral resources and they take our own people to work for them. That makes the Europe to be more developed.
Okay. Yeah, but there are people that are saying the slave trade didn't happen.
Yeah, because there are some people they get that belief,
Yeah.
but really, absolutely, the slave trade happened before.
Okay.
They get that belief. Jufre and Albreda.
Oh, so two villages, Jufre.
Jufre and Albreda. This is the home of the Kunta Kinteh. The village of Jufre, that's the home of the Kunta Kinteh. The other part of the village, that's the village of Albreda. And these are the two sisterly villages. The reason why today the two villages come to be close to one another, because of the village of the Jufre, they get migrated one place to another. Why they get migrated? Because of the constancy of the slave trading.
Oh.
That make our people to be get migrate. Because the time of the trade, the village of Jufre, they are a little bit far from the forest. But the Europeans, they used to attack them separate occasion. And especially the more they are attacking them, they attack them at the middle of the night. That makes people to get migrated one place to another. So right now the village, they are in the third settlement of the village.
Okay.
To arrange the boat.
So we have to arrange a boat
we have to arrange.
Okay, I heard the boat is very shaky.
No, it's not very shaky.
Okay.
But it's a proper boat and it's a machine engine
Okay,
boat.
okay. That was fine.
It's big one.
I caught the boat from where's the spot where we catch the ferry to?
Bara
to Banjul, the little boat. There was like 100 of us on that little boat.
No, this one you're going to have only three.
I was nervous as hell.
No, for only three of us.
Okay.
If you hire your own boat, it's only three of us.
Okay.
Huh?
Oh, the masquerade.
No.
And right now we are welcome once again. Now we are at the side of the Albreda, and we are looking at the side of the monument. We get into our mainland here, and before getting to the island, to point to some of the side of the monument parts into the boat here. Now come back to the history of the slavery, and I cited at the museum. The coming of the European, before coming of the European, there's a trade between us. That was started by the Arab.
Okay.
The worst part of the trade done by the European. The time the European people came here, they introduced the two things in our community here. They came here.
Let me ask you this: as far as Islam in Gambia, was it when the Arabs came, the white Arabs came? Did they force Islam on the?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was forced like Christianity.
They forced.
Okay.
By the time, before coming of the Arabs, there's no Islam, there's no religion. The people, they are enemies. They don't believe.
Right, enemies. Right, yeah.
Exactly. But the time the Arab people came, they introduced the Islam religion. And later the European people also came. They introduced the Christianity. Because the arrival of the Europeans, they built the church first. That's the first Catholic church ever built into the country. That's the number one.
Okay.
The church built inside the village here.
Okay.
And this other side, that's the freedom flag pole. The time they built the church, because the Europeans, they introduced the two things in our community here. They came here to take our people to go enslave them. Again, they introduced the Christianity in our community.
Right.
That's how they used to be introduced. And the side of the number two, that's where I'm talking about the site we are standing. This is the side of the freedom flag pole. As cited at the museum, the slave trade was first abolished in Denmark. That was 1804, but in England, 1807. In this part of the bank, 1810. So the time of the 1810.
So it was abolished in Gambia in 1810. You said.
1810.
Okay.
And that 1810, according to the history calendar, by the time they have 93 people left inside the fort of the James Island. But the master give the condition for the traders and the slave. They have to buy their freedom, but the caution of the swimming, the more they can swim from the island down to the mainland, when they stroke the pole, they have to declare a free man.
Oh, wow.
But according to the history calendar, none of can made it. All them drawn into the water because by the time
they made them swim back.
Yeah, they ask them to swim from the island to the mainland. When they can stroke the pole, they have to declare as a free slaves. But according to the history calendar, none of can made it because by the time our people, they are not good for swimming. Even still now, most part of the Gambian people, they cannot swim.
Right.
Because we are a little bit far from some of the people, they are a little bit far from the seaside. And we always get advice from the parents. Not near the seaside, the river don't have no branch.
Right.
But if you want to drown, the branch you can hold. So that's why most part of our people cannot swim. Number three, that one is talking about the building down there. This is the CFO. CFO is for the French. The time the Portuguese are based into the island, there are French people stationed into the mainland here. They are using the building as a warehouse. That's where they do the barter system like good trading.
Right.
That's the number three. Number four, that's going to be inside the island. when you are in the island, we're going to give you more detail concern about the fort. And inside the fort, I'm going to give you more detail. Connection to the Kunta Kinteh to Alexia, I'm going to give you that story at the island. And this other part, that's the fourth settlement of the village. That's the Jufure here. But the aside our people get migrated from one place to another. That's why the villagers, they abandon here, they move far in. And this other side, that's the Jufure, that's the Albreda. So that's why today the two villages come to be close to one another, Jufure and Albreda. And this other one, there is the statue, never again, not of slavery.
Right.
The head of the statue just like a globe, because now in our country here, every 2 years, we have the festival here. A lot of blacks from Europe came back to Africa. They come and celebrate the roof. And there is the cultural dancing, marriage ceremony, and we used to be visit the island also. That's where they used to go for the tours, for the flowers.
Okay.
So then they can refresh their mind. Their ancestors also passed through the journey. That's the purpose for the roof festival journey.
Okay.
So we're going to see the island. So this other side, we cannot get there because here is about half a kilometer away from the forest.
Okay.
That's called San Domingo. San Domingo is a transit point for the traders. Every morning, the European, they left island, get down to the San Domingo. So they easily follow the road, they easily follow our people in their house or in the forest. And they used to get the water here. That's the water, that's where they get fresh water. That's the well. So now from here, we will be getting close to the sign of the neighbor again. And from there, we will join the boat to the island.
Okay.
But before that, we will get inside, we pay your $50 fee.
Okay. Over.
Yeah, this is the Gambia River.
Okay, how are we gonna get in this boat? Oh, it's a ladder?
Yeah, there's a ladder.
Okay. I thought we'd just jump in.
But you can,
I was just gonna jump in the boat.
I think you can make high jump.
I'm just gonna jump in the boat. Okay, this is our boat. This is our luxury. This is my yacht. Our luxury yacht right here. Luxury yacht right here.
No, that's the San Domingo.
The island.
Yeah, that's where they call the Kunta Kinteh. And
Were they what?
they called Kunta Kinteh.
Oh, they caught Kunta Kinteh right there.
Yeah, at the San Domingo. Later they transferred them to the Fort of James Island.
Okay.
And at the island, using as a waiting collection.
Okay.
But as I tell you, at the museum.
But they caught him right here.
Yes, San Domingo.
Okay.
You can see the bobo tree.
Yes. Oh, yeah, the big tree. Yeah.
Big tree.
That's where they caught him.
Yeah, that's where. Because that place is near the fourth settlement of the village.
Okay.
So it's every morning the Portuguese people left island, get down to the mainland. They attack our people inside the forest or in their house. So the more they get the slaves, they transfer them back to the island. And they stay inside the island for 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, they transfer them to the Senegal. The more they pick into the Senegal, that's the voyage of no return.
Okay.
That's why we get the source of water.
And you're saying the further we go, the River Gambia.
Yeah, because the further you go for the River Gambia, the more you go, the more the river gets small.
Okay.
And we get the waterfall come from the Futa Jalon Highland. That's the mountain of the Guinea.
Guinea.
And yeah, Guinea. But the more you go at the other side of the river, the more the river gets so up, and you can connect to the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay. We're approaching the island. So this is where Kunta Kinteh was sold.
Yeah, today the island used to be called Kunta Kinteh Island.
Uh-huh.
But the first name of the island called St. Andrew's Island.
Okay.
Andrew is the name of the Portuguese sailor. Because as I tell you, at the mainland, the European, the first.
I'm so happy you guys changed the name from that European to an African.
because-
Thank you so much.
Exactly. I'm going to give you more detail how the island used to be renamed.
Okay.
Because the first name of the island called in St. Andrews Island, simply because according to the history calendar, one of the sailors happened to die here. Andrew died causing of the malaria, he get died.
Okay.
And he's the only person who get buried inside the fort. And before the departure of the Portuguese, they renamed the fort, they call it St. Andrews Island. But there are infights between the Europeans for abandonance of the fort.
Right.
Because any European country control the land here, you have more easy access to the trade in this part of the region. And later we have the French. After the French, we get the Dutch, Netherlands. But the Netherlands people, they stay here for only 1 month. From there, we get the English. The time English also occupied the fort, the English, they changed the name of the island. They call it Fort James Island because of Fort Duke of York.
Okay.
But 2011, there is the time the Gambia government renamed the fort.
Good.
Today the fort used to be called in Kunta Kinteh Island.
Good.
Because Kunta Kinteh come to be as a hero in our history calendar. So we don't have to forget our heroes. That's why one of the pop singers called Jamel. Jamel is the brother of the Michael Jackson, who is the one who gives the ideas to the president. Using the
Jermaine Jackson.
Jermaine.
So Jermaine's supposed to fix the road, right?
Exactly.
What happened? What's going on? We talk about it when we get up here about the road that's supposed to be fixed.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And welcome once again. Now we are inside the fort of the James Island. And this is the island the Europeans used to be staying. They used it as a waiting collection for the traders. And the slaves used to stay here to wait for the ship. But the fort, it was bigger than this twice. But due to the condition of the erosion of the water, that make fort was getting small now. And according to the history calendar, the fort was bigger than this twice. And the metal pole you can see standing, because as I tell you, the mainland, every 2 years now in our country here, we have the festival. The duration of this festival, a lot of people from the diaspora came back home to celebrate the culture of the trade.
Right.
And the culture of the roots. The culture of roots meaning African dancing, how we do our marriage ceremony, naming ceremony, and later they cruise down to the island here, throw the flowers into the water.
Oh, wow.
So then they can refresh their mind. Their ancestors have passed through the journey. So that's why they have the metal pole. They used to have the flags. The government used to be they want to know how many countries used to partake in duration of the festival. That's why they have the metal pole. The long one, the front one, that one with country flag for the rest of it.
Okay.
And this fort having a 4 sides of the corner. Every corner, if you're getting inside, they are facing the different direction for the guns. So then they can fight the enemies, can attack.
Okay, but you're saying at one time the water.
Yeah, because the water is coming more, especially during the rainy season.
So one day this whole island
now-
will be
now-
gone, be underwater.
Exactly, but now the monument is under UNESCO.
Okay.
So whole heritage list. Every 2 years, UNESCO used to make for the fund, so that they can preserve. And 2009, they have the fund from the Dutch, Prince Claus Foundation in Netherlands.
Say that again.
They have the fund from the Dutch.
Phone.
Yeah, fund, so then they can preserve some side of the building cannot collapse. And they make 60 meters for the sea barrier.
Okay.
That sea barrier can be minimized for the wave of the river not touching the wall now.
Got you. Okay.
So then the island can stay longer. But still now it's in the plan of the government. They just want to come and push the beach. So then the island can have more land.
Okay.
Yeah. So now from here, we're getting inside. I'm going to give you more detail concerning about the fort and the history of the Kunta Kinteh also.
Okay.
And this other part here, you can see the map of the river Gambia. And that's where you can see the map of the river. Today in the morning, you take a ferry boat here, that's Banjul.
All right.
And that's where you go from the northern side, that's the Bara here. And you take the road, drive car to the village. Right now we are here. That's the island. But if you cruise up to here, you can have the salt water.
Okay.
Salt water. But the more you come up to this part, all this part is the fresh. And outside of the river Gambia, the more you go, the course of the river, the more the river gets smooth and the sea gets narrow. So you can see the hippo here around the south bank, not this part of the water. So now from here we're getting down there to give you more detail.
Okay.
And all these are the baobab. The tree I was showing you at the mainland. And it's the same map you saw at the museum.
So all of this is underwater now.
Yeah, from this part up to here is inside the water now.
It's all underwater.
So only the part of the island was getting left.
It's just this right here,
Exactly.
which is right here.
Right here, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Right now we are here. That's where we are just standing. But during the time for collecting the slaves used to be landed here first. From there they give them in their rooms. Now came back to the history of the slavery and the slave trading. And the time the Portuguese are using this island, the island was bigger than this twice. But aside from that, there are infights that make a lot of the destruction of the island was getting made. Because there's a magazine used to be here. But aside from the mainland, the coming of the European, they don't trade with the money, they trade with the stuffs. Stuff like miro, tobacco, gunpowder, alcohol. They do esking trade. That esking trade make our African people to be more involved.
Right.
Because the time of the trade, we don't have government. We are living like an empire system of kinship. Any one of the kingdom, they want to attack another kingdom, expand their trade. Because the more they have more land, they collect more tax.
As far as the slaves who were traded, like, what was the reason? So when the king decided, or like, who was traded? Like, what kind of slave were traded for mirror? Yeah.
Because the kind of the slave, our people involved, the prisoners of war.
Prisoners of war, okay.
The prisoners of war, they can sold into the slave trading. War captive, they can sell it to the slave trading. And the criminal also. Oh. So this is the time our people involved. Because when the European came, our king, they can make a war to one another. The more they won the war, they took those people as a prisoners of war. So when the traders came, they sold those people.
Okay. So you don't think the kings didn't think it was odd or didn't have an issue selling black people to white people?
Exactly.
You know, you understand my question? Because this white man comes and I give this white man one of my own people.
Yeah.
The king didn't see an issue with that?
No.
Okay.
No. They don't see any issue for that. Because now they don't look for the humanity but vanity.
Oh, okay. Not humanity but vanity.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay.
So right now we are here. From here we walk inside to see some of the room. But before we get inside the fort, to give it a bit detail concerning about the history of the Kunta Kinteh. Kunta Kinteh is the born citizen of the village of Jufre, the village we came from the museum. We see the museum.
Right.
That's where the Kunta Kinteh was born. But in our country here, at the age of 18, the parents used to collect the children, send them to the bush. That's where they do the circumcision. That circumcision, because by the time we don't have Western education, that's the form of the bush school. That's where they take the children, good moral, good behavior into the society. So then when the children came back home, they will know how to make elderly person. That's what the Kunta was facing at the age of 18. But according to the history calendar, at the end of the circumcision, now Kunta Kinteh decide go looking for the fine firewood, come and making a wooden drum, his brother. So unfortunately, they meet the Portuguese along the forest. But all the friends of Kunta run away back home, but Kunta Kinteh refused to run because he saw brave himself as a warrior. But as you all know, one man cannot fight a dozen. That's why the Kunta Kinteh was get overpowered. They transport him to the San Domingo. That's why the Kunta stayed for the 2 nights. At the end of the 2 nights, Kunta was transported to the island here for the 4th night, 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, Kunta was transported to Senegal. There's an island there called Gore.
Yeah, Gore Island. I've been there.
Yeah. And the door of the Gore, you can see down there, there's the voyage of no return.
Yeah.
So that's where
I've been there.
Yeah, that's where the Kunta was sold to the America. The plantation called Annapolis in Virginia. That's where they sold Kunta.
In Virginia.
In Virginia. So according to the history calendar, inside the plantation, Kunta Kinteh also tried to escape, to run, different type of the occasion. The third one, they found him, they amputated one of the feet cut off. So from there, Kunta cannot run more until the time they make the treaty. But before the treaty was made, because the time of the trading, the more they get the African people, they change their name to the European name.
Right.
And that's where they changed the name of the Kunta Kinteh king. They
To
call him
Toby.
But Kunta denied the name of the Toby. They flog him bitterly. He cannot receive the pen. That's why the Kunta accept the name. But it's not his own will to accept the name. Inside the plantation, he wanna try to escape. The third time they found they amputated one of the feet cut off. So from there, Kunta cannot run more until the time they make the treaty. That's where they allow slaves to marry to one another, and that's where the Kunta was get married. Gambian lady called Fanta, European name called Belle. They have only one daughter inside the plantation. The daughter called Kishi. At the age of 16 of the daughter of the Kunta Kinteh also gets sold to another plantation. The plantation master called Tomley is one who raped the daughter of the Kunta Kinteh. They have only one son called George. George is very good in for cockfighting. They name after him Kicking George. Kicking George is the one who married to the Irene. From the Irene, you have the Cynthia. Cynthia is the one who married to the Batra. Batra is married to the Simon Hedi. Simon Hedi is the father of the Alex Hedi.
Oh, okay.
So that's where Alex Hedi come to be as a 7th descendant to the family of the Kunta Kinteh. Well before Alex Hedi came into the West Africa here, do the research. According to the history calendar, Alex Hedi do the 12 years research to the family of the Kunta Kinteh. Because according to the history calendar, the time of the Alex Hedi was young, he used to take his grandmother one of the river in America called Mississippi River.
Yeah, Mississippi River, yeah.
And that river used to be flow, how the Gambia River was flowing. And the grandmother used to tell him that you are not from America, but your ancestors, they came here as a slave. So that's what Alex was put in his back of the mind until he's getting grown up. Now he came to decide to research to the family of the Kunta Kinteh in West Africa. And he went to the England, Manchester. From there he came in Ghana. That's why he made the Gambian study in there called Ibu Manga. Ibu is the Gambian. He's the one who took Aleseli into the country here by word. Because by the time this river, they call it Gambi Bolong. That's where the name of the country came. The Gambi Bolong, that's why we take the country name from the river, River Gambia. So, and the Aleseli tell Ibu that I'm looking at my ancestors, but they are from Africa, the river called Gambi Bolong. But they are Kintes. You know that I know some Kintes. In our country, they have a lot of Kintes. Maybe you can be find there. And that's the time they flew into the country. That was 1962. The time they arrived, they went to the Minister of the Tourism. There's not only one Kinte in our country here. The time they arrived, they start research into the south, Kianjifaro. From there, they came to the northern side. That's the time they met the husband of the 8th, 7th generation. The husband is a griot because the time of the trading, our history is not written. It's from the oral, the words of the mouth. So by then, the griot is our library. The husband of the 7 is a griot. He's the one who narrated whole story to the Alex Kennedy. That was 1962. From there, Alex went back to the America. 77, he came with the actor and the journalist. They started acting the movie of the Kunta Kinteh from the village, was down to the island here, and the rest of the movie acting to the America just make movie to be more interested. 1978, the book and the movie come to be worldwide. That's how the two villages come to be more popular because of the movie of the roots. So now from here,
You know, the guy that played Kunta Kinteh is from my hometown of Sacramento, California. Yeah, he's from Sacramento, where I'm from.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah. So now from here, we walk like this direction to get inside the fort. But when we get inside, we're going to see the powder house first. This house getting exploded because the time of the trading, there are a lot of soldiers. According to the history calendar, there is 93 soldiers used to be here as a guard. But the condition of the powder explosion, 11 people die for the explosion of the powder house. That 11, all them, they are European. But none of can tell you how many slaves. For the time of the trading, the slaves, they are not recorded as a human, just like a life of the commodity. From the powder house, we will get here to see the water tank. That's the cistern. But the condition of these two houses also make a lot of people die. Simply because the duration of the water stays stagnant of the water. Water used to be contaminated.
Right.
Because the water is not moving, the stagnant of the water, a lot of people get the sickness. The more they're drinking the system water, they can have the fever, cholera, stuff like that, and they can die. From here, we will walk down here to see the underground prison.
Okay.
That's the prison, that's where they used to park the aggressive people. Because during the time of the trade, our people don't want to be taken as a slave. Some of the slaves always want to revolt to fight. The punishment given to those people, they have to make them to be more weak, more hungry. That's why they put them starving. they park them underground prison. They give them food, keep them alive, but they don't give enough food so that they can feel strong enough. From here, we will walk downside to see the old landing point. In the middle part, that's where they do the branding. You know the branding?
Right.
They mark the slave just like a cattle. Because as I tell you, at the mainland, the slaves used to sold different parts of the world. Some going to the South America, West Indies, Brazil, Caribbean. That's where they used to work for the field. And some parts, they work for the tobacco or sugar or cotton. And later the product have to be sold to the Europe. They make as a finished product. The same products must sell back to the Africa again, so then they can gain more slaves. That's called triangular slave trading. So from the branding side, this other part here, that's where they used to contain the women who are pregnant. Because during the time of the trade, they can have even the children at the age of 6, they can cut them. But the pregnant women, they are most expensive slaves inside the plantation zone. The more they are selling those people, they have the more price, double price. They sell them 1 into the 2 more than the baby. So from there, we will get inside here. That's why we're going to see the councillor house and the governor. The middle part, that's the conference hall. That's where the more they want to discuss the welfare of the island and the well-being of the master, the staff sit in the middle. They can do discussion, but anything governor final, that's going to be final decision. The excursion going to be stopped here. There is the lighthouse, control tower. At the top, these are the bastion, purposely for the security for the island. So now from here, we'll be getting inside fort. Before we get inside, if you have comments or questions...
No, we'll go ahead and go inside.
Nyomi in local language. And 500 people from the village, they want to attack this island, come and rescue their people.
Oh.
But among that 500 people, none of them succeeded.
Why?
Because by the time the Europeans, they are living here, they are well armed.
Oh, okay.
So our people, they get spears, bow and arrows, cutlasses. So those people, you cannot fight with the guns. So the more they see the ship come for attack, they use the gun to intercept them to the water.
So people try to revolt and
exactly.
save their
lot of times.
people. Yeah.
But none of them succeeded. All of them drawn into the water because by the time the Europeans, they are well armed.
So Gambians fought back, basically.
Exactly. Because the time of the trading, you cannot call a Gambia or Senegal. They are living like an empire.
Right.
Ghana Empire, Songhai, and the Mali Empire. Mali Empire is the biggest empire by that time. No, Mala Filarajan. So, and the panel here, if you would like to take pictures, you can have more information. If you go back, you can edit it. Magazine for the gunpowder.
Right.
The coming of the European, they came with their good like Miro, Tobago, gunpowder. They do escape trade. But according to the history calendar, there's an explosion used to be held here.
Right.
That explosion, 11 people died for European soldier. But none of can tell you how many slaves. The time of the trading, the slaves, they are not caught as a human, just like a life of the commodity. If in the construction, the reason why they make down their danger, the side of the business are getting too old. They can fail at any time. That's why they make instruction. And the labor part of the job also done by the slaves.
Right.
This is the oyster. Oyster is from the river. They take the stones. These are not, it's not the polygons. These are the natural stones. And they mix with the fire bricks. They get the fire bricks here. The more they load the slaves, transport them to the America. When the ship come back, they have the fire bricks. So then the boat can keep the balance into the water. And today, the side of the building, you cannot see the roof because of the explosion of the powder.
All right.
So now we'll be getting to the side of the water tank. This other part, this is the side of the water tank. That's the cistern.
Okay.
The condition of the house, a lot of people get the sickness simply because the duration of water stay here. They get the source of the water came from water here because here in our country here we have only 2 seasons, dry season and the rainy season. During the rain time, the slave master, they collect rainwater inside the cistern, but the duration of the water stays, the stagnant of the water, a lot of people get the sickness. When the slave drink the water, they have the fever, cholera, stuff like that. That make a lot of people die. And during the dry season, they get into the mainland, they collect water from the well. They come and store inside the system because the river water here is the salt.
So this is the water system.
Yeah,
like,
water
okay.
tank.
Water tank. Okay. So what was the water used for? Supposed to be used for?
The water used for the drinking for the slaves. The slave
Oh, but they got the bad water.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay.
So, and this other part here, there is the underground prison, and they call it on comfort slave. But for us, we get it underground prison for the aggressive people. But the European, they call them on comfort. And those people, they are not on comfort. They are aggressive so that they can get their liberty, but they don't get. And that's why they park those people here for 2 weeks. The more they get here, they close the door. Only through this window, they pass their food and the shelter. And according to the history calendar, 15 people used to be attended here for one at a time. And the more they get here, there's no toilet facility for them. They'll close the door. They give the food, keep them alive, but they don't give any food. So then
But they'll be urinating and
exactly everything here.
defecating on each other.
So, and this one is the circle remaining. Because some of the slaves can be here, they always continue to be more aggressive. And those people, they want to make them to be more weak, more hungry. They put the circle on their neck, peel into the wall so that they cannot be able to fight.
Now, were the and I asked this earlier, were the chiefs aware of what was going on this island?
Yes, the chiefs are aware, but as I tell you, because of the vanity and humanity, they are not the same.
Right, because they chose vanity over humanity.
So they chose the vanity, not humanity.
And then the descendants of those chiefs, are they still around, and are they remorseful at all, or?
Still around, especially because in our Africa here we have the culture. It's not only the new generation. Now you can choose the chieftaincy at anywhere, but no, before the chieftaincy, they have to be having a religion or special part. So that now, because now the people are Muslim, they come to be more Muslim, they don't drink, but still if you sit with their ancestors, their ancestors used to tell them, how our people used to pass it through here, you'll be knowing that. So because of now they feel guilty because of the Muslim religion.
So they feel sorry for it.
Sorry for us. So, and this other part here, this is the old landing point. That's where the first harbor used to be. And the side of the harbor, when the boat came from the San Domingo, all slaves used to be collected into the San Domingo, or they have to be landed here. From there, they give them in their rooms. At the end of the 2 weeks, before they board in their boat, they do the brunt here. You can see the stones, round stone. That's where they put the fire. Inside the round stone, they put the metal. And the more they nail hit, they hit them in their back. That's going to be sign of the address on mark. Aside to the mainland, the slaves used to sold different part of the plantation. Some going to the South America, West Indies, Brazil, Caribbean. Every plantation, they have their own metal for identification.
Okay. All right. So they will brand them with a specific letter as far as where they were going to.
Exactly.
And it depended on the skill, right?
That's why they used to work for the tobacco or cotton or sugar.
Right.
So the same product must sell back to the Africa here. That's why they call it triangular slave trading. Africa to America, America to the Europe. And this other part here, that is the side of the slave here. That's why they used to control the women who are pregnant.
Right.
Those people, they treat those people as a better condition because the pregnant women, they are the most expensive slave inside the plantation. They sold those people one into the two, more than the baby. Back of the slave yard, that's where they have their kitchen. That's where they cook their meals. And these other 2 rooms, that's the staff's quarters.
Right.
The first house, that's the governor's room, the councilor's room. The second one, that's the governor's. But according to the history calendar, every 2 weeks, the master, they collect here 200 to 300 people for over 400 years.
So 200 to 300 people every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 26, so there's 52 weeks in a year. Y'all, please don't judge me for my math. So there's 52 weeks in a year, so that'll be 26 weeks, 26 times 200, just to be conservative. That's close to, we'll just say 6,000 people a year for 100 years.
Yes.
That's 600,000 people. No, 6 times 100 is 600,000.
For me, I'm not very good for it.
Yeah, 600,000. So 600,000 people alone here.
Yeah. So, and this house, that's the councilor house, that's where the councilor do the register. And the register have to pass to the governor. Governor is the main man. The more they want to discuss for the welfare of the island, that's where the staff sit in the middle part, on the front of the governor house. But anything governor finalize, that's going to be final decision. but the part of the building here is a 2-floor. The top side, that's the quarters of the agent. And this other house, that's where the 2 staff usually take in their meal house. That's the dinner house. The governor and the councilor, that's their dinner house. And the top of the building, that's the agent's house. That's where they spend their night.
And so 600,000 people alone from this one island. We're hurrying. I think our guy who's driving our boat is saying it's time to go.
But for us, we get believe that nobody counted that one is the always is the we make.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were some people that weren't recorded that were snuck out of here, stolen out of here.
People are just dying into the journey, the time they are making for the attack. People are dying into the forest. They are not in the record books. And this other side, this is the side of the control tower. That's the lighthouse. The metal one, that's the one is the replica. The original one used to be stone. That one was getting fallen down because of the constant attack for the different type of the European country. That make the wall falling down. And this one is the 24-pounder. The date of the canal 1753. According to the history calendar, the more they get to fire this canal, they put the powder inside. Later put the canal board. They make light. The canal can be far about 700 meters into the water. Fight the enemies cannot attack because the time of the trade, the European they are enemies of one another.
Right.
So I thank you very much once again.
I appreciate it.
Now from here we'll be cruising back to the mainland.
Okay.
And we'll be cruising back. When we get, we're going to see the family. And from there you'll get your journey back to the Barra.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. 600,000 people, roughly. That's an estimate. But it could be more. Because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who weren't documented. But 600,000 in a 100-year period, that's a lot of people.
If you want to stand beside you, taking your pictures, no problem.
Yeah, take a picture right here.
Can you stand?